Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 231. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Vibez Catering, LLC. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I'm sure we'll all be inspired by his story. Let's chop it up with Chris Sanders. Chris, how's it going, man?
I'm going great, going great. How you doing?
I'm glad to hear that, and all is well on my end, too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I don't mind doing this at all.
Yes, sir. Of course, we're to talk about all the great things you got going on with Vibez Catering LLC. But before we talk business, let's get to know the man behind the brand. Born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama, how was your upbringing in the Gump?
It was great. I wouldn't say I had the most elite upbringing, but I will say that anything that transpired during my past, it has not deterred me from my current goals and future.
Okay, definitely understand that, man. And whatever we go through in life, like you were just saying, like whatever you going through has helped shape you into the man you are now. And it's just, hey, we all go through our go throughs, and we all grow up the way we grow up, man. So I appreciate you for sharing that.
No problem at all.
Yes, sir. So overall, just in terms of family wise, did you have a good village growing up around you?
I did. I mean, they always say it takes a village to raise a child, and I strongly, firmly believe in that now. I did. My aunts, uncles, friends of the family, they were all there helping, making sure I kept the straight and narrow.
Yes, sir. That's what you need that village for. You need that village to love on you and to hold you accountable when you ain't doing right.
Exactly. Definitely need that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So you grew up in Montgomery, do all your schooling here. So when you finished up high school, did you go to college, military, or did you go right to work?
I did a little bit of both. My first college I attended to was Auburn University, and I did have plans to finish there, and that was my start off point. But as life proceeded, that things did not work out the way I had originally planned. God had a different plan for me instead, so I immediately went to the workforce, started working, and actually was in the food industry for a minute before I found my calling.
Okay. Awesome stuff, man. Appreciate you for sharing that. So during your time at Auburn University, how was that college experience during your time there?
It was great. It was great. It was a different experience. It was like a culture shock for me because I was introduced to so many different cultures other than what I'm normally used to, which is the Black community. So I was not necessarily expecting the HBCU. It's more 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 well rounded than that. It's a difference. So I was like, I didn't go to Alabama State because of that reason. And I did want that experience, but I was like, you know what? I want to go somewhere else and kind of just expand a little bit differently. And it was a great experience. It was a great experience. I loved it. I loved it.
Okay, good stuff, man, and nothing wrong with that. I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from in terms of going to a PWI like that and culture shock and meeting people from all over, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, the South, and you got a chance to just meet people from all over. And I went to Alabama State University, so I definitely understand the college experience from the perspective of the diversity of people that you meet. And it sounds like at Auburn, you got a chance to meet a wide variety of people.
Right. I did. I did. I did. I did. I think, and that's what was funny to me. Like I initially thought that out was the Black community. I was like, let me go find some Black people when I get up here. Somebody look of color. And then I initially after that, I was like, you know what? Let me kind of spread out a little bit and just see what else is out there. Because I will, when I go out into the real workforce, I will be introduced to a lot more different people other than myself. So I want to have that experience.
Okay, and that makes sense. That was forward thinking. You wanted to, like you said, get exposed to different cultures, different sorts of people. So once you got in the workforce, you would be able to adapt to being around different types of people and things of that nature. So that makes sense. Like you were forward thinking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good stuff, man. So after you spent some time at Auburn University, you came over to the workforce, the food industry that you were just speaking to. So when you did you, and I know you say that you found your calling, who was in the workforce in the food industry. Did you know growing up that this is what you was going to become, a chef?
You know what? Honestly, no, I did not. What I did know, I knew a couple of things at that time frame. Like when I was growing up, my top things I wanted to be was I wanted to own my own restaurant. I wanted to be a scientist, and I think I wanted to be a Power Ranger. That's how that was like kind of far off that was. And I didn't know what avenues to go through. People have been telling me like you should think about going to culinary art school, and I thought of that at the same time frame too. I didn't think my cooking was like that good. I was doubting myself. I was like, I think it's that good. I think it's good. It's okay to do a little something around the house, but I don't think it's I should go to culinary school. So growing up and seeing those people on TV, I really didn't feel like I had access to that. So like I saw them on TV all the time. I used to watch Food Network day in, day out. Like I used to sit up watching with my dad all the time. And I used to always tell myself, like, one day I do want to do that. I do want to be one of those people I see on TV. Like I want to be a chef of some sort. But I didn't know like what direction to head in. Then too, I wanted to do something that I thought that would make me more money. So I was like, I didn't see the financial gain from that. So I wanted to just try something else. So I got out of tried to put myself away from the food industry. And as I was going to trying to go to school, I went for several different things. And finally, I just kind of broke down. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go to culinary school. And the minute I decided to say I'm going to culinary school, everything just started falling into place. It was just like that was like the easiest path that everything just kind of fell right in.
Wow, man, it's so amazing just hearing you just go through that whole scenario of doubting yourself and applying anyway, and just how things started to fall into place. And it's just a reminder, man, in life, all you gotta do is take the first step, and God do the rest. You know.
Amen. Amen.
But like you were just speaking to, and I've been guilty of it as well, Chris. You had these ideas, you want to do something, but then when it's time for the rubber to meet the road, you start doubting yourself. That voice in your head starts asking you, like, who do you think you are? Like, you're not good enough. And sometimes, well, a lot of times, Chris, you got to tell that voice in your head to, be quiet.
You have to. And I think I would say this to anyone, like you are your biggest opponent.
Mhm.
You are your biggest opponent. You are your biggest obstacle. Once you remove yourself out the way and get out your own way, you'll be able to accomplish anything you want to do. And the funny thing about it is that's how it kind of guided me to know that I was going in the right direction because growing up, everybody's familiar with Power Rangers. Like you always had your favorites. You always had your pick and chooses of which one you wanted to be or who you would like to meet one day. And I remember back in the day, I used to have the biggest crush on the Yellow Rangers when it was at one season they had like the little black girl on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't wait till the day I meet her. I hope one day I get to meet her. I knew it was far off because I knew I never would get the chance, but that was always a dream of mine. And I'll never forget that day. It was back in like 2018. A friend of mine was like, hey, I got a friend. He didn't get a chance to partake of the tickets. We was going to go to little Dragon Con type of thing. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I'll go. It was just an offshoot chance. I just so happened to be off. I said, yeah, I'll go. And when I got there, the actress that played the Yellow Power Ranger, she was there. And my 7-year-old self was so excited because I was like, oh my God, I'm actually finna get ready to meet this lady. This is so wild. I never would have thought that was happening. So after that fact of that happening, and I get a chance to meet her, we take pictures. And I said, you know what? If I could do that, I could do anything. And that just kind of pushed me in the trajectory of just setting the sky's the limit. Whatever I can think and put my mind to, I'm gonna do it. So after that, I thought about getting into culinary school. I did that, graduated. I ended up getting before then I got my during the time frame I got my LLC, and I just hit the pavement.
Man, that's so dope, man. Hear you tell the story about the Yellow Power Ranger and just being able to have that full circle moment and actually meet her and just what that moment taught you. Like you said, anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish it. And also what you said earlier, we are our own biggest opponent, our biggest enemy. And I mean, it's just a lot of times, man, we just get in our own heads, man, and just start doubting stuff. Because one thing I realized, Chris, if you get an idea, if you get any type of idea, it didn't come out of thin air. It's a lot of times it's probably meant for you to act on it, but we run away from it because we think, yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know if it's for me. But just hats off to you, man, for just, having that moment, meeting the Yellow Power Ranger and just knowing from there, hey, I can do anything I put my mind to.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Good stuff. So the school you graduated from, how do you pronounce it, man? I don't want to butcher it.
Okay. So the way you pronounce it is Auguste Escoffier School of Culinary Arts.
Goose Escoffier School Culinary of Arts. Okay, dope, man. I'm glad you. Hey, I was over here fighting for my life trying to figure out how to how to pronounce it, but appreciate you for Okay, pronouncing that Auguste Escoffier School of Culinary Arts. So I see that this school is based in Austin, Texas. So when you made the move out to Austin, Texas, did you experience any culture shock coming from the Gump?
Actually, I did, and to correct you on it, they have two bases. They have one in Austin, Texas, and they have one in Boulder, Colorado. So the one I graduated from was in Boulder, Colorado. Um,
Okay.
yes, sir. And yes, it was definitely culture shock. The thing about it was they did most of their I was able to take most of my classes online, and I was able to finish there, well, walk across the stage there. So I was able to just get a lot. And it was a lot. It was a different experience because I never really did an online class, and I was kind of trying to figure out like how that avenue would work. Would it be as real as just being in person? Would I face any other challenges? And it was just as challenging to me, if not more, because I didn't have the pressure of someone just being harping on me and saying like, "Hey, you got to go to school, you got to go to school," other than myself. And the instructors were very as hands on as they could be. It's just showing up, just checking in, making sure you were getting the work, setting up one on ones just to see where you were and if you were grasping the concept of what you were doing.
Okay, awesome, man. And yeah, hey, you are correct. I completely overlooked it. So there's like you said, there's a location, Austin, Texas, Boulder, Colorado, and online. So appreciate you for getting that straight. My bad. I completely overlooked Boulder, Colorado.
No problem at all. And I would say if I would say to anyone, if you ever never been out to Colorado before, you should go. It is one of the most beautiful cities, beautiful states I've ever been in.
Hmm. Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I got a chance to go to Colorado Springs a few years back, and you're right. Those mountains, yeah, Colorado is, yeah, it's pretty breathtaking once you get out there and see the mountains in person.
Exactly, it is.
Good stuff, man. So got a chance to finish up at the School of Culinary Arts, and now you're rocking and rolling present day. So let's talk about what we're here to talk about today. Good Vibes Catering LLC. So I'm big into brand names, Chris. So I got to ask you, what's the inspiration behind your company name?
The inspiration behind my company name came when I was doing a catering for a client, and I went through a couple of different name changes before, like and none of them stuck. They sounded okay when I was in my head, and then as I kind of got this speaking on, I was like, this don't sound good. Like I ain't fooling with this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And I was doing a client. I was doing a catering for a client, and we were actually when I got there, he called me and said, "Hey, I'm about to actually getting ready to get there. I'm about to actually get ready to get put out. Like they are canceling. They're shutting us down. The police have been called. We're not going to be able to do the our event anymore." And I was like, "Dang!" I had pulled up with all my equipment, getting ready to start cooking the food. And the police actually came as I was setting up, and they was like, "Yeah, we got to shut this place down. We got a few noise complaints. Yeah, y'all gonna have to pack up and start leaving." While I was in the middle of cooking, like I hadn't even presented nothing to the people yet. Like they had already paid. I hadn't presented nothing to them. And I looked over to the police officer. He came in, he walked around a little bit, and he was like, "Man, what you doing?" I was like, "In the middle of doing the catering." And I said, "I tell you what." He was like, "Well, it really smells really good in here." And I went over with the menu, what I had for him. I said, "I tell you what, if you can allow us to finish, I'll make your plate." And he thought about it for a second, looked at his partner. Partner was like, "You know what? We'll let that buy you about 3 hours." So I finished the event, and my client I don't think he could speak on. Was like, "Man, I really do appreciate that. You really did buy some time and allowed us to kind of get that going. You made the vibe right. Like that's one thing he gonna do. He gonna do a good vibe. He gonna create a good vibe." And I said, "Huh? That's it. Good vibes catering. That's it. Because I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna have y'all gonna have a good vibe." And once I decided that just it took off like that. Like that was the name.
Okay, solid, man. That's a great story, man. Just hearing you go through that whole scenario, they tried to shut y'all down, and you were thinking on your feet. You were thinking quick on your feet. You say, you offered the officer a plate. Hey, just give us some time to do my thing, and I'll feed you. And then it all worked out. So it's just, man, that's pretty cool, man. Man, you were thinking quick on your feet, man. That's a pretty dope story.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to do something because I was like, man, I'm not really kind of committed to this already. I really would like to finish if I could.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And that's what it's about, man. Just in those moments of adversity, just keeping a level head and just figuring a way out, man, versus getting upset and because you could have went the other route and got mad at the officer, cussed them out, then they definitely put all y'all out. But you decided to be of service and say, hey, let me do this and do do something for me and I do something for you. And that's how it should be. Like we should be here to work with each other and just serve humanity the best way possible.
Amen. It's the only thing you can do, and I live by that. I live to treat people the same way I want to be treated, and that our same opposite ended up becoming one of my clients. So
Yep. So it's safe to say your food was the bomb, and you left a great impression on the officers because you turned them into a business. Hey, that's how you do it, man.
that's how you do it.
Good stuff, man. So with you run this company, Good Vibes Catering LLC. So just what type of events have you had the privilege of hosting since you've been a business owner?
Since I've been a business owner, I've done birthday parties, I've done graduation parties, I've done several weddings. I just completed my last wedding of the year back in November, so that makes wedding number 5 actually. I have done luncheons for churches, pretty much any event you can think of. I cater,
Okay,
no
that's
matter how
solid.
big or how small.
Okay. Man, that's solid, man. I mean, that you've had an opportunity to cater all these different type of events. But the one that stands out to me is catering weddings. Hey, because wedding is a big time event and you can't be half stepping with them weddings because that's gonna be a lifelong memory, man. So hats off to you for showing up and showing out because you've done 5 weddings, man. Like being able to be booked for a wedding, that's a pretty big deal, man.
It really is. It really is, and it's a blessing for me just to have these people reach out and choose me to be a special part of their day. And I never take any opportunity for granted. And it's opportunity somebody's presenting me with, no matter how big or how small. I never take that for granted. And I always appreciate these people are spending their hard-earned money to stop with me, and I try to, if I can, uphold that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. And that's the mindset to have, man. Just, like you said, just people spending hard-earned money with you and just wanting to deliver top tier food as well as a top tier experience.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good stuff. So as it relates to just the business itself, whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to talk about 3 things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. Take us back to your aha moment when you first had the idea to take your love for cooking and turn it into this business.
My aha moment was, I would say, back when I was working at back when I was working at Waffle House.
Okay.
It wasn't necessarily something like I was thinking about doing, but one of my first jobs I was at Waffle House, and I worked my way up from a server to a restaurant manager. And a lot of my old coworkers could tell you, like, I would make certain things for them. And I remember the first thing I made was like I made lasagna, and I made it from scratch, like from everything. And they tried it out. I was like, man, this is good. You should start selling this. And I never really thought about selling it. I just was like, okay, well, yeah, it's good, but it might not be. I don't think it's selling worthy good. It might be all right for a little. What I'm saying, they might be just okay with it. So I focused on that. That was one of the first meals I was ever just like focused on. Like, I'm gonna make sure I fine tune this, and I'm gonna make sure I make it the best. And I kept doing it, and then eventually they was like, "Yeah, you should really think about it." Well, if you don't want to sell it, can I buy a pan from you? How much if I can buy a pan of that for you? Like, sell that. So I started doing that around there at Waffle House, and then when I got to being an assistant manager at Burger King, I would make recipes and try that out. And then eventually I was like, I think I could actually, I think I could do. I know I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. I can do this. I can do this. And during that time frame, especially when COVID hit, I really was like, you know what, we're social distancing. I probably would have at the time I had like a 1 bedroom apartment, and I had a little entertainment bar, and I would have my friends come over 1 or 2 at a time, and I had them come over, and you could kind of see into my kitchen from that bar. And when they come over, I would pretend I was on a cooking show. I would sit them down, we'll talk, have like a little glass of wine, maybe share a few stories, and I was like, hey, I'll be sitting there and like, well, hey, today on Christmas cooking show we'll be cooking X, Y, Z. I would just play around with it, and I would continually do that for them and show them. It was like, hey, you know what? You should think about doing this full time. Like, you really should do this. And anytime I was at home, I post my meals, and all my friends was like, yeah, you need to go to culinary school. Think about it. You just think about it. And they kept saying that, and I was like, "This it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. This is my aha moment. I'm gonna do it. I'm a, I'm just gonna focus and just do this. I'm gonna do this." So that was it. And once I did decided to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this," it just went took off from there.
Man, that's so cool, man. Just hearing the whole breakdown from selling lasagna at Waffle House, and you started getting in your own head even then. Like you said, you didn't think it was good enough. It was worthy of being sold, but people was able to identify that you did have that gift and started out with lasagna, then made your way over to Burger King, and then during the pandemic, you got creative and you set up shop like you was on a Food Network TV show, and that's just dope, man. You just tapped into that imagination, that creativity, and then hats off to your friends for encouraging you and letting you know you could do it, and hats off to you for taking action and actually enrolling in culinary art school, and the rest is history, man. It's dope.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I know you were saying earlier where the Good Vibes name came from. So from the time you had that initial client and that interaction with the office and all that good stuff, so when you realized what you was going to name your company, how long did it take you to get the LLC and get all the business stuff registered and situated?
I end up utilizing LegalZoom. That helps with like 90% of the legalities of getting my business name registered, getting all the paperwork and underwriting and stuff, uh, getting the formation done. So I use that for them. But I would say from that point of having a name, I think it took like maybe another. I would say it took a year after that, just for me just to get the money situated to where I could utilize that service and really get the ball rolling.
Okay, sounds good, man. And a year flies by like a month, so that's not really a long time at all, man. And
Not long at all.
yes, sir. And you utilize LegalZoom. Hey, work smart, not hard. I definitely understand that. So utilize that service for them to help set up 90% of all the legal stuff. Got the ball rolling. That last portion, audacity, is one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to put action behind it. But to put it out to the world to be praised or criticized, that's where the audacity comes in my opinion. Who or what gave you that audacity to put Good Vibes Catering out to the world?
I would say looking back, it was really my father and my grandmother. My father, for one, because he's always been a good cook, in my opinion, and he had that dream of starting his own, and life just kind of got in the way. He was unable to do that, and we shared our love together. So I was like, you know what, I really want to do this. I really would like to do this. Like I want to put myself out there and do that. And then my grandmother as well. She was the reason why I decided to go to culinary school in the first place. She was always big on having that family gathering and having everybody at her house during uh, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I really wanted to do that for myself. I was like, I want to get everybody back in the mood of dining in and enjoying themselves. Like I want to give that to everybody. I want to be able to share that with people. And when she passed in 2021, and during that time frame, that's the same time frame I decided to go to school. She passed in September 21st, 2021, and that was the same day I enrolled in school. I said, you know what, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it now. And it just felt like she just pushed me the rest of the way. And that gave me the audacity to say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put myself out, and I'm gonna take this criticism, good or bad, and allow that to keep pushing myself forward. And in doing so, you do face a lot. You do face good criticism, and you do face bad criticism as well. And you have to take that, and you have to kind of break it down and say, hey, what are they really saying? Is it just that the fact they're just is it really hate, or are they really trying to build me up? And it takes a lot of guts and a lot of tenacity, and it takes a lot of you have to have a tough skin to be in this business.
Man, that's amazing just hearing you talk about your dad and sending my condolences, man, for the loss of your grandmother.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir, man. And that's what it was. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, it taking the village. And we always think it takes a village when we're children, but it takes a village at all levels in life, man. It just sounds like your village gave you that audacity to go for it. And here we are today, you rocking and rolling.
Yes, sir, they did. I appreciate everyone who stood in my corner and was like, Chris, do it, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And that's That's all we need sometimes, man. Like just somebody to tell us keep going. I mean, because a lot of times when you're building something, building a brand, you can. Well, I can speak from personal experience with building this podcast brand. It does feel lonely at times, and but when somebody just says, "Hey, man, I see what you're doing. Keep going," it just gives you an extra boost, you know.
Yeah, always, always. Every time I see that, and somebody running to me on the street like, "Hey, ain't you that guy from?" Or I seen you on Facebook. You just gotta be. I remember when I started selling plates, and they was like, "Hey, you the guy that used to sell plates." I was like, "Oh, you the guy from Facebook." I'm like, "Oh wow." Hey man, I see you going. Keep going, man. Keep going. It gave me just such a boost, such a boost. I was like, "Oh man, I never really realized I had that many people paying attention to me."
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. It's so powerful. So let's talk about as it relates to just an event that you can recall that you had a short turnaround time for. Let's just say the client reached out to you and they wanted you to do something, get something done in a short period of time, a week or so. Like, have you had any instances where you had to do a quick turnaround?
Uh oh yes. I did. The first well most of the time now, I try to do it like 2 weeks out, but a lot of times it doesn't work that way. Like I had some people be like, "Hey, I got an event Friday if you can," and it's Monday. I'm like, "Oh wow," and I really have to kind of perform and get that done. The shortest time has been is like 2 days. Yeah, the shortest time has been about 2 days. It's been about 2 day turnaround. Like they'll book me Monday, and then Wednesday here we are trying to get everything done. And
So,
I
okay, I'm
tell
sorry.
you
Go ahead.
that when I tell you that's very hard to do, and you're really trying to beat the clock. That's very hard.
So, how many people did you end up having to cook for that event that you had a 2 day turnaround?
That was 200 people.
God, yeah, that was intense, man.
That was very intense. That was very intense, and it did not go the way that I expected it to. But it was actually for a company. It was my first time doing a catering for a construction company,
Okay.
and I ended up landing that contract actually behind that. But I was like, oh wow, you know what? This did not go the way I wanted to, and I was way more prepared than what I did. But it after that, they was like, you know what? We understand you're just starting, and you never really handled this type of level, and I understand like how much pressure we did put on you. So we'll circle back around, and we just created a bond after that.
Wow, man, that's so amazing, man. So you had a 2 day turnaround to feed 200 people and ended up turning into a long-term contract. And I mean, it's just cool, man, just to hear those, man, just to hear that type of story. And I'm pretty sure in that short period of time, it's a double-edged sword because it's like, okay, yeah, it's intense and you got to get it done. But on the flip side, you don't have a lot of time to overthink or overanalyze. So you got to get stuff done because time is of the essence when you got 2 days to get it done.
Exactly, exactly.
Cool, man. That's awesome. So with you being a chef and doing great things in the kitchen and all that good stuff, and pretty much just a master in the kitchen. So when you go out and you dine out, are you a harsh critic or do you give them grace?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I am way more than what I would want to be. Like a
Got
lot of times, I wanted to really just try to be in the moment and just enjoy the food. And a lot of times I can't because if I find something wrong, I don't try to pick it apart. I'm not like Gordon Ramsay and I just pick it apart. But I do tend to be like, I've had better.
Okay. Hey, I definitely understand that. And I mean, and I kind of figured that before I asked the question because like with you being a chef, like and you understand seasonings and things of that nature, I'm sure you can taste the dish and you can almost identify, okay, they ain't got enough salt, they ain't got enough sugar. I'm pretty sure like, man, you got it down to a science like that, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like when I tell you my palate is very refined, I can really basically pick apart to the technique and seasoning of what they used and how they did it. Okay, yeah, so I just need a little more of this, a little bit more of that. I can really pick it apart like that. I try not to though, but a lot of times, especially like I really try to do that if I like the dish and I would see how could I recreate that.
Okay. No, that makes perfect sense. So when you do dine out and you go out, so like what's your typical go-to dish? Like what's your favorite dish to try and things of that nature? Like or do you have a dish that you like to order most of the time or do you switch it up? So like how's that for you?
I try to if I'm at a new restaurant, I really try to experience the menu fully. I try to try something different every time. Tend to I normally have my go to like if I'm at Texas Roadhouse, I always try to make sure I get a steak when I'm there. If I'm at Longhorns, it's the Parmesan crusted chicken. I love that. So I have certain places that I have my go-tos, but I try to get something different. If I'm at Central or somewhere else, I try something new and see what it is that they necessarily bring to the table.
Okay. No, I definitely understand that, man. Just exploring different dishes and just trying something new and just getting a chance to fully experience the menu. I definitely understand that. So, with you being an entrepreneur, running your own business and carrying the weight of the show, carrying that weight and carrying this company. So, what do you do to decompress, man? Like when you're not working?
I always try to make sure if I can, every 3 months, I'll take a minute, a moment, just maybe a week. I'll set to myself to say, hey, look, I'm taking this week off, or this month I'm not gonna try to do anything. I'm not gonna try to get any clients in, or as either towards the beginning or the end of it, to where I'm not overbooking myself, so that way I can get a chance to kind of go out of town, decompress, or maybe if I can't get a chance to get away and get out of town, at least sit at home and just do absolutely nothing. Like my time frame when I'm relaxing is for me to do nothing. Like I don't want to cook for nobody. I don't want to. I barely want to cook for myself. I just want to sit and relax and do nothing. I want to decompress, take one good woosah, maybe watch a couple of TV shows, catch up with life, actually catch up with my present self, and be present in the moment. It's
Yeah,
real easy to look backwards or forwards and to see either how far you came or where you're headed to, and not necessarily be present in the moment and enjoy what's going on in the moment.
Yeah, man, those are all solid outlets. Just getting a chance to travel and sit still and do nothing. And it's important, Chris, because social media will fool you into believing that it's hustle, 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 hustle. But man, at some point in time, you gotta take a rest, relax, and just sit back and just smell the roses for a little while. Otherwise, if you work all the time, you'll burn yourself out.
You would definitely 100% burn yourself out.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, man. So you've done great things with the company, Good Vibes Catering LLC, and I'm sure great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals for the company you feel comfortable sharing?
Uh, Short term goals, I definitely want to build my brand more. Just do more heavier marketing, kind of expand to where I am accessible and accessible to a lot of different clientele. I've dabbled a little bit into getting contracts. I would like to do more. I've done a lot of cooking demonstrations. I would definitely like to do more. I'm kind of navigating those aspects. So that's definitely my short term, is just kind of navigating those avenues. Long term for me, end goal for me has always been my own restaurant. That's definitely been an end goal for me. I definitely would like that because I want the Michelin star. I want a Michelin star. That's one of the top awards you can receive as a chef, and I would love that. So that's definitely my end goal, to have my own restaurant. So I definitely would like to build and expand upon what I'm already doing and learn more as well. I'm always willing to learn. Just because you can become, you don't become a master by just all y'all by just learning. You need to learn more. You can't just do doing. You need to learn more. You need to. It comes over from 50% doing and 50% of learning. So you need to always take in. Just because you are well studious in a certain aspect, you need to learn more. You are always are teachable. So I definitely want to expand my knowledge in my craft and what I'm doing.
Hmm. Yes, sir. Those are great goals, both short term and long term. And just speaking with you these few minutes, man, I have no doubt you put in the work and make them all come to fruition.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I enjoy speaking with you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. As we wrap up the podcast, Chris, I want to ask the $1 million question. I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you being a hometown hero, I got to ask you, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
I appreciate the most about my city is the potential. It's a lot of potential here. It's a lot of people out here just trying to make it. And I see so much potential here in the city of Montgomery. Like a lot of people are small minded and don't see it, or they feel stifled because of what transpires and what goes on here. But it's a lot of potential here. It's a lot of people who are trying to find their niche and what avenue to go through. And I'm always grateful for that. I'm always grateful for that because it's a lot of potential here, and it's a lot of people here who I have something to offer to the world.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Chris, how can the people connect with you? What are your social media handles?
You can find me on my social media page on Facebook, either Good Vibez Catering LLC or Chris Sanders. I normally post pretty frequently there. You can chip in, give me words of encouragement. I always appreciate it. Or you can contact me on my website, www.goodvibesmgm.com, and that's vibes with a Z. You can reach me there, or you can reach me on my or Instagram as well. I normally post sometimes on Instagram. That's good_vibes CAT.
Too easy. And of course, I'll put all of that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Chris, thanks again for the conversation, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it as well.
Yes, sir. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Go.